Hey, Monica, did you know it's now even easier to listen to Around the Hay Bale podcast?
What? Really? How easy?
That's right. All you have to do is say, Alexa, play Round the Hay Bale podcast.
Playing Round the Hay Bale podcast on Apple Music.
Ooh, we're really fancy now.
Tune in to Round the Hay Bale every Monday at 9 a.m. Central Time.
Grab a cup of joe and let's gather round that hay bale. With your hosts, Ann from Andale Homestead, Cayce from Ormsby Farms, Monica from Bland's Promised Land Ranch, and Sandi from Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. Here they are. Hey, y'all, hey.
Hey, y'all. Hey, I'm Ann with Andale Homestead.
Hey, everyone, it's Cayce over at Ormsby Farms.
Hi, I'm Monica with Bland's Promised Land Ranch.
And this is Sandi at Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona.
And if you're listening to us on a podcast app, but you want to see our faces, head on over to our YouTube channel, Round the Hay Bale. You can find the link in the description of this podcast. We love to watch and hear your comments and replies and suggestions because nobody knows everything. We need you. It does help with our algorithm and all sorts of things. So click on our LinkTree link down below, and it will take you over to all our social media links along with Round the Hay Bale. Don't forget, once we get up to 500 subscribers, we're going to do a giveaway. So be sure to subscribe now. And today's episode is...
Well, today's episode is very exciting. It's New Year's goals for your homestead in 2025. We're just finishing the year, and it's been a great 2024. But what are you going to do? Sit down, grab a cup of coffee, a notebook, and just review and see, what are my goals? Now, we're not talking about resolutions, because everybody knows that you make these New Year's resolutions and they last a week or two. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about what we're going to do on our homestead, what kind of goals we're going to have for 2025. And so that's what our discussion is going to be. Cayce, you got any goals?
I do. And I always like to sit down at the beginning of the year. I've been on the homestead. This will be going on 4 years. I just am finishing up the third year on the homestead, which is weird. It's crazy to think. But you think, and again, not resolutions, but you sit and you think, okay, what did I do this year? What was successful? What was not successful? Because listen, as much as we love homesteading, and it does save you money in the long term, it costs money to homestead as well. And you can't keep on throwing dollars out like you're a billionaire if it's just not paying you back. So I like to sit down with a hot beverage and say, okay, I always talk pantry. I always say, okay, what did we like? What did we eat? I'll go back and I have a list of things that are in my pantry. And beginning of September, October, I'll take tally of all of that I've canned. Okay. And at the beginning of the year of January, in my head, I'm like, okay, I should have used this much of my diced tomato quarts. Am I at that number now? If I'm super under or out of it, I know I need to do more next year. I need to put in more tomato plants, which means garden planting. I need to can more diced tomatoes. So that's pantry planting. But also I'm saying I want to try one new thing for the year. I want to try one thing and see if it works in 2025. Like this year, I want to try not doing bleached white flours and sugars. That's one of my kind of goal for the homestead. Again, not a resolution, goal.
Right.
I want my body to be healthier for all the exciting stuff that is coming. What about you, Ann? Do you sit down and kind of plan and map?
Well, I'm not a list person, unfortunately, because I lose them. And then, I misplace them. But I do emotionally, mentally there are goals, and I love that we're using the word goals instead of resolutions because I don't think I've ever finished one completely the whole year that I started on January 1. But goals are achievable most of the time. And not only do we have goals of learning to learn from this past year of 2024, what we placed where in our garden, what grew best in this amount of sun or that amount of sun. I paid a little closer attention this year. We've had a couple of different spots that we have placed raised beds to be able to see what grows what well. I am working towards and marching towards learning more in the herbal world and learning more about healing myself and potentially sharing that with others. And that you open that door just a little bit and you see there's a whole new universe in that kind of knowledge. And so those are a couple of things, along with I want some more chickens and I want to figure out some more canning things. So Monica, how about you? What do you want to do?
So I do have some goals. I think one of my goals is to really buckle down and grow all of my own meat that we're eating. We do like 80%. I don't even know what real percentage that would be, but majority of our meat that we eat, we do grow. However, we don't currently raise our own chicken meat. And we buy a lot of chicken. We eat a lot of chicken. And for our family size, it's near impossible for us to raise that quantity of chickens that we would consume. So I really want to change up some of the meals that I plan to incorporate more of our beef, more of our pork, more of our turkey throughout the year, and remind myself that turkeys are not just for the holidays because I don't buy turkey lunch meat. I buy turkey breast from the store. And then I use my deli slicer and make my turkey sliced deli meat. And my ham, do the same thing with our own hams. But I want to be able to do that year round. I want to be able to know that we are consuming the meat that we have raised. So that's kind of a goal. Now, I wanted to touch on something you said, Anne, because I was kind of taking some notes. It didn't look like I was listening, but I promise you I was taking notes and kind of making some things here. But one of the things you said was you'll lose the list. So I am the same way, right? I've got my paper list here and I will put this paper down and with all great intentions, I'll like put it somewhere so I'll see it. And one of the things I've learned is people do make these wonderful, beautiful vision boards. And if I was super crafty, I'd be like vision boarding it up. But you can do that on your refrigerator. You can do that
Right.
in your schoolroom or your office space or your bedroom. Why not stick your vision board or just your goal list? And you can make it pretty, throw some stickers on there or put some different colors on there.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, each year my family gets together at holidays, basically November 1st when Eric's birthday happens, on the 5th. So his birthday's on the 5th and November 1st, it is almost every year that we make up our Christmas movie list. It's a goal for us as a family. And it just made me think about you because we normally would take that and we'd say, oh, we want to watch all these movies. We want to watch all these family movies and these holiday movies, and it's going to be fun. And we've got 8 weeks to do it basically, right? Because we start early. But last year I made this beautiful, like I literally rolled out a sheet of, what is it? The paper that kids use, the poster board. It's a big poster board. I made a bunch of really pretty drawings on the bottom and we colored them in and we made this gorgeous list. And the list is there for the whole season. And not only that, I can roll it up, put it away, and keep it for the next season. Because for us, it's a visual of all those things we want to do. So maybe you're making a bucket list for whatever it is, but why not do that for your year? Make yourself a vision board. It doesn't have to be massive. Maybe it's just a really pretty color-coded list that as you put up on your refrigerator, it reminds you, these are the goals that I had for myself this year. So if your goal, not your resolution, but if your goal is to do better with what you're canning, if it's on your refrigerator, because people go to your refrigerator every single day.
Right.
Or it's on your bathroom mirror. Maybe it's a piece of tape with a paper to your bathroom mirror with some of your favorite scriptures. Maybe you want to learn more scripture this year. Maybe you want to make sure that you're, I don't know, brushing your hair 100 times every morning, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Put it in front of you. So that way you don't forget it. And it reminds you of the things and the the big intentions you had in the beginning of the year. But it's a good reminder for us so that we don't
That's a
forget.
good. I like the idea. Now, I mean, in my mind's eye, I see that vision board having all these pictures and all these things.
Yeah. No.
That kind of takes effort. I probably wouldn't get around to that
No.
part, although it sounds wonderful. But I mean, let's be honest here. I'm not sure I would get around to that.
It could be a
But
sheet of paper
it could be a sheet of paper that I can. I got lots of refrigerator magnets
with bullet
lots of kids'
points.
pictures. Yeah, that I could put on my refrigerator.
Absolutely.
That would be
Why not? And you can make it pretty. Make some
I'm
just
telling
get
you, it
a
does
box of
help you.
markers.
It does help you actually do it. Seeing, I don't know what it is about the refrigerator, but seeing it at the, I guess we go there a lot during the day.
Yeah.
But having anything, I've noticed that if I meal prep for the week, I'm more likely to stay to what
Mhm.
I have on the meal prep because it's printed out on the refrigerator, staring me deep into my soul, telling me, "Fat boy, you don't need that. That's not on your meal prep, bud." You know what I'm
Good.
saying?
Yeah.
But Sandy, what about you? Are you, because I know you had some big changes this year.
You
Um,
did?
Yeah, lots of changes, and I'm a list person. You guys know I love my lists,
yes.
and when I set and make goals for the coming year, I like to break them down because for me they become more achievable if I do that.
Mhm.
Like if I have a big goal and it's just looming there at me and I haven't broken it down, um, I will want to push it to the side. But
Ah,
if I have that broken down into different points, like bullet points, I can mark off when I got one part done. And I find that very satisfying. That's
Yeah.
why I like lists. I check
Yeah.
it off, makes me feel good. It's probably endorphins. I don't know. I don't know, but I like it. And so if I can break it down, like when I'm looking at 2025 for me,
mhm.
I'm always going to look at my seeds, what I have, what I don't have, what I want to
Right.
try. Um, like Cayce, I'm gonna look at my canning. I think it was 2 years ago I did a video and I said, I'm not canning this year and you can't make me.
I
Because
loved that video.
I had enough in my pantry. Why can if I'm not gonna use that other stuff up first?
Right.
So you have to decide things like that. And if you can look at all these different things like, do I want to add any more trees this year? Am I going to add a water feature? I've long wanted to put um like a water feature coming down part of my hill that would just feed
Oh,
itself, just because I think it would be very attractive. I like the sound of water. That's
yeah.
a big goal, so I have to break that down. And I don't know
Uh-huh.
about you guys. Do you guys break your goals down to make them easier for you?
What I mean, I do prioritize.
Mhm.
Okay, what is it? I mean, you got this big thing, and then it seems overwhelming, but I can't get to the finish line today. But what can I do today to work towards the finish line? And so I do that. I prioritize of, okay, this is the first step. That's
Mhm.
really good. That's done. This is the next, and so forth. And to try to pre-plan for the end result. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and one thing we haven't talked about, but I think you should have it in your goals, is some self-care, some self-love.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But my youngest daughter has made it a goal to have a massage once a month. Even though she's extremely busy, she's a
Mhm.
single mom with 2 kids, she owns her own business,
Mhm.
and this morning when I talked to her, she said she almost canceled, and then she remembered that we had talked about, you have to have these self-love things.
Yep.
If you
Oh,
can set that up at the beginning saying, "This is what I'm gonna do once a month, this is what
Mhm.
I'm doing for me," I think it makes you stronger.
Yep. I
absolutely.
Absolutely.
agree. And I think setting it up in ahead of time helps you plan financially for how you're going to do those things. Because if
Right.
my goal is to cross fence my pasture, that doesn't mean because it hits January 1st and I'm setting the goal means I have, $5,000 to re-fence everything. I have
Right.
to plan ahead. Okay, by August, I want to cross fence my pasture, or I want to. A lot of people are like, oh, I need a greenhouse. Everybody wants greenhouses, right? So
Yeah.
by September, I want a greenhouse. Okay, great. So start planning. How am I going to get that greenhouse? My goal is to have a greenhouse by a certain date. That means if I want to afford a however much greenhouse, I need to put away this much every month. Okay, how am
Right.
I going to do that? Am I going to sell something off my homestead? Am I going to just put that money aside? Am I going to cut back on the, McDonald's or whatever you're doing? Like, think about ways to achieve those goals. So goals and setting the goals are great, but like
Right.
Sandy said, you have to be able to think about how you're going to achieve those goals. And if they're broken down into manageable, bite-sized portions, it's so much more. It's rewarding when you get to that little part because you're one step closer to that really big goal that you have for yourself because it can feel very overwhelming.
Well, I think the check too. Sandy said the check. It is very
Yeah.
satisfying
Oh,
when
yeah.
you have finished something to either exit out or to check. Um, I guess it is the endorphins in your head saying, "Yes, you did it. You did it."
Yeah.
And finding that self-care. One thing that I have noticed is, I love watching, even though they're reality shows about living in the frontier and that kind of stuff, like old time living, 1800 living. And one
Mhm.
thing that they did in the past that I have interwoven into my daily life is taking Sunday off, whether that's
Okay.
taking Sunday off from social media, from canning, from baking. I mean, literally what my Sunday is faith-based family. It's
Oh, that's
that's
a
all
good
it is.
idea. Oh, I hadn't even thought about taking, like, a whole day off of social
Yeah.
media.
I mean, and on the 7th day he rested, and I think it's important because
Yeah.
it helps your mind get prepared for the 6 days to come.
Yep.
'Cause
Wow.
all 4 of us have those 6 days that are
Mhm.
Yeah.
sometimes, and you need to just sit, take time for yourself. It
Mhm.
always reminds me of that little girl, funny reel, that's trying to buckle her car seat, and the dad says, "Can I do anything?" She said, "No, you worry about yourself. You
Yeah,
worry
you worry
about
about
you."
yourself. Yeah.
And that's what you have to. You have to take care of yourself too.
Yeah.
And because if you can't take care of yourself, your whole homestead is could possibly fall to pieces. You have to have your mental and faith and heart and soul, everything recharged
Oh my goodness.
before you can go forth
That's a
through the
big
week.
Well, I think there's something to be said for that too. Sandy said self-care and Cayce, you're talking about self-care. And I think if you think about it, right, Miss Ann, we're setting examples for those who are watching us.
absolutely.
Whether it's little eyes or big eyes,
Mhm.
people are watching what we're doing, whether we are on social media or off and we're inside of our home. My daughter said to me yesterday, we were standing at the kitchen counter and she's like, "Oh my goodness." She's like, "I am so stiff." She's like, "Honestly, I cannot wait for the chiropractor next week." And we had set a month appointment from the last appointment. She's
Mhm.
19 years old, okay? It's not
Yeah.
like she's not in her 40s like me where my bones are cracking when I bend over to get
There
things
you
out of the
go.
cabinet. But she leaned in and she's like, "And I hate the idea of having to go and, spend money every month on the car. Like, I don't wanna have to do that." And I'm like, "Hey, you know what? I would rather go once a month to a chiropractor to get adjusted, to help our bodies feel better because we're so busy doing other things all month long. I would rather go once a month than have an acute symptom, something that is necessary for us to go 4 days a week, 3 days a
Right.
week to go get adjusted because now we have this really horrible symptom or this back pain or whatever because I've been there. I was there last
Yeah.
year and I did not
Sure.
want to deal with that. And that's a hard place to be when your body hurts so bad that you can't
Mhm.
function. And so I told her, I said, "I would rather go spend $50 or whatever it is 1 month, each month for us to go get one," literally the most expensive doctor in the whole wide world. Because you go in, he's adjusting you, and 5 minutes later, you're out. You're like, "Wow, that was a lot."
Yeah.
But it is worth it. And you're
Right.
teaching your children, you're teaching your grandchildren, and you're teaching the people that are watching you that are around you, whether it's your neighbors or your friends or your family. They're watching what you're doing. And when you prioritize yourself, they're going to see that. And that's important for them too. So that absolutely should be a goal for your year. Self-care. Make
Wow.
yourself
Yeah,
a priority.
yeah. And if you have people around you that are that negative, maybe your goal for 2025 is to make boundaries.
Yeah,
Okay.
To
absolutely.
fence those things off and say, okay, you can come this far, but you can't come any farther
Mhm.
because
Right.
um, I need this space.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's part of self care. But if
Mhm.
on your homestead, you're looking and say, okay, am I going to increase my chickens
Mhm.
or some other kind of animal? Do I need a
Right.
different building? So, like
Mhm.
Monica said, how am I going to save to make that possible?
Right.
What are my goals? What's my research? Um, and when you set those goals at the beginning, you have time to research
Mhm.
That's
instead of
right.
all of a sudden, this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
And
Yep.
I'm going to do it in 2 days. And you haven't taken the time to find out, okay, what's good? What's possible on my property?
Right.
What if the county says this is no and you
Yeah.
build it and then they go, you're going to have to tear that down.
Right. Right.
So think, break down things and do research.
Can I just say, Sandy, that I loved one thing that you just I love a lot of things that you say, but one thing that you just said, you were when you were talking about the boundaries for people, and you said, "I need to." I think a lot of people think, "Ooh, I don't want to be that person that's I, me." But listen, there is a balance between
Right.
being self-obsessed and taking care of yourself.
Right.
You should think, what do I need? What are my physical, mental, something needs? I just wanted to throw that out there first. That there,
Mhm.
there's there's a fine balance, but you do need to have some type of I, me, self mentality when taking care of yourself.
Well, the way that I rationalize that of even bringing myself into the self-care situation, because I always, as most of us do, we go, "Oh, I'm fine, but I want to make sure you're great," kind of thing, is to understand that. Of course, that thought just left my brain. Oh, is that the way that I rationalize it with me is that I can be better for other people
Mhm.
if I take care of me as well.
Mhm.
So that's the kind of, you know, a backwards way of looking after myself.
And there's always compromises.
Mhm.
Our life is compromises, but if we can at the beginning of the year set those goals,
Yes.
and set that self-help for us for the whole year.
Mhm.
And maybe that will evolve through the year. It might change a little bit. You might,
Sure.
um, you know, don't be so strict with your goals that it's like, oh, I have to get this done because it's 2025,
Right.
because that is not life.
Yeah,
Right.
Right.
it's
I'm
true.
yeah, I'm hoping to have a small business in 2025. I really am hoping to have something that is going to benefit others as well as ourselves. And I'm working toward that goal. But it's little bitty pieces of
Exactly.
in 2024 that is building upon each other, one little step at a time, that's going to hopefully be a success.
Well,
So,
and I think when Sandy's saying breaking down, that one goal, I think that's with businesses. Sometimes you have to break it down. Okay, what is the next little step that I need to do to get this business going?
the
Like
next
for
right
us,
thing.
we decided we wanted to do American breast chickens
Mhm.
for meat. That was our goal for meat. Now it's changed a little bit. I mean, we're meat, breeding pairs and eggs now, but
Okay.
that's one of those you have to break down because with chickens, it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, you have the so many days the eggs is hatching, then you have the so many days that
Mhm.
the chicken is getting up to
Has
processing
to grow.
size.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you do have to have, and I'm a list person. Me and Sandy are twins because I am a list person too. I'm a
I wish
chart
I
person.
was.
But that's a way to kind of break it down. Okay, adding American breasts. What are my next little dot
Mhm.
that I can check off to make this successful business?
Mhm.
So yeah, I agree, and I know your business, and I think it's going to be wonderful. I'm so excited because we've
Thank
talked off the air about it, and I'm
yeah.
really excited about
It's
it.
thanks to all of y'all, I'm telling you. You've all helped encourage me quite a bit. So, Sandy, as far as goals, now you're the list maker and the note taker and all those kinds of things. Like I said, I get it in my head. Now, my head doesn't hold what it used to hold. I've got so much important stuff in there from over the years that all this new things just bounces right off the brain. I'm keeping the important stuff like what happened when I was 15 or something. But where do you put or how do you keep up with I mean, basically what you're describing are outlines. I'm pretty good
Right.
with outlines as far as a subject and bullet points of these are stages to get to someone. Where do you keep all those things?
Well, I like books, and I have it right here. That's why I could just grab it. And
Good.
like, um, it makes it easy for me to just fill a whole book. Then I can put it on my bookshelf, and it's got, at the end of the year, I got all my notes, and I can go back through it. Um, I have literally notebooks for 20 years.
Oh my gracious.
Some of them are just spiral notebooks. I got these this year, and so I got them for 84 cents at Office Supply one day.
There you
And
go.
so they're not the spirals like the usual ones are, but it just makes it so that I can look through it again, and I can just during the year, I just go back. Sometimes I put little tabs at different things so
Hmm.
that I know the process, but I love the refrigerator idea.
I do too.
Uh, uh,
Oh my
and
God.
I mean, I do have a vision board up here, but that's for a weight loss goal that I have. I've been doing intermittent fasting,
Hmm.
16 pounds. Yes.
Wowzers. Whoop,
So,
whoop.
but I just put photos and information and things to do and some goals. So, however it works for somebody, if it's a vision board, if it's on the refrigerator with a list, if it's um, notebooks that you can
Right.
go back through, and there when you have notebooks, it's kind of fun. You go back 5 years and you start just reading through there, and it's like, oh, I forgot that we did this, or
Yeah.
that we had um, finished that goal of this.
Yeah.
But it's just whatever works for each individual person and family.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I don't
See,
know.
I'm the person that gets the planners, and y'all know those people. If you're not that person, you know somebody that gets a paper planner, and those paper planners live for like 3 to 6 months, maybe if you're lucky, and then they die. They die somewhere.
Yeah. I.
They die they die in the back of a vehicle. They die in the corner of a
See,
room.
Monica always has such cute planners because she shows them to me at the beginning of the year. I'm like, "Oh, love it, love
Can
it,"
I
and
just
then,
tell
like,
you
months later, she's like, "I don't know where that one went
Yeah, I
anymore."
don't even know where that
Yeah.
No, I actually this year have kept my planner the entire year. I am
Woohoo.
now an official happy planner girl. Love
Awesome.
them because I can pull the sheets in and out. I'm very excited, but I have kept the planner all year and I have consistently kept up with it. But I think it helped that in the beginning of the year, I made a goal to keep the planner. But I really wanted to stay focused because I can put stuff in this phone, but even though I put it in my phone doesn't mean I'm always going to see it because
Right.
I don't like notifications sometimes. I clear them out. So if I see a notification for tomorrow, I clear it and then I
Right.
forget that it was there and then I
Right.
forget that I had to do that thing that was supposed to be notified. So internet stuff that doesn't always work for me out here. But
Mhm.
if I have it in a paper planner, a lot of times if I'm committed, I just need to make sure it's something that I can keep with myself. Exactly. Whether
Look
it's a
at you,
notebook,
Casey.
maybe it's a
I'm the
small
only
planner.
one.
But no, here's the thing, Miss Ann, you're not the only one because
No, you're not.
my world is where planners come to die typically. They do. They come in, like this sheet of paper has all my notes from today. And I thought when we started, I'm like, oh my gosh, I should keep these notes, stick them in a notebook. And then when we do our Friday lives, I can pull out the dated note.
Yeah.
Like, right. But you know
Yeah.
what? You know what's going to happen? This is going to get folded up. It's going to get thrown on the counter right here on the desk. And my son's going to come in here and do his schoolwork. This is going to get thrown on the floor. And in
Yeah.
about 2 weeks, I'm going to clean up in here and it's going to get thrown in the trash because I could care less about it because
I
this
so gotcha.
episode is coming in like 2 months and I
Yeah.
don't care right now. So it's
Right.
gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
literally gone. So I'll have to just listen to the episode again and go from there. This
There
is
you
my
go.
life. It's okay, Miss Ann. But take your
Mhm.
sheet of paper, put it on everybody. I hope everybody washes their hands in front of a mirror or around a
Mhm.
mirror or
Mhm.
in a room where there's a mirror or someplace you're looking yourself in the face.
Mhm.
Stick your goals there.
Yeah.
Well, you
Maybe
know,
maybe
yeah.
it's an index card. Maybe it's a bunch of these little post-its and you literally just put post-its up.
Yeah.
Make yourself
Well,
post-its.
because
Do what you need to do.
I'm looking around the room in here. I spend a lot of time in this particular position.
Yes.
And to have because I don't know what I'm doing with this small business that I'm starting. I'm learning one tiny step, one day at a time. Okay, this is immediate. I need to do.
Yeah.
What do I need to do tomorrow? And what do I need to do so and so? But there's a blank wall right there
Yes,
where I
ma'am.
could put some stuff, to say, okay, now it's time to order so and so, and you have shipped out such and such. And
Yeah.
so it's pretty
And
cool.
I know a lady who did some furniture and she put like words of affirmation and scriptures and stuff. Sandy, was that you where you put like encouraging notes or scriptures around? Was it the dresser or something you made?
Yeah, it's over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you put scriptures on there, and then she put like, was it scripture and words of affirmation? What
Yep.
was it
Yeah,
exactly?
both.
It was both. She literally put words of affirmation, scripture, things to encourage her.
Oh
You
my
open
gosh,
up
I
the
need that.
dresser. Why
Yeah.
not, Miss Ann? Why not throw yourself your goal right here and then right underneath, give yourself some encouragement. Make it big. So when you're sitting at the computer, you can look up at it and say,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's what I'm doing. Even if it's
Yeah.
just 3 words.
Even if
Today,
I
you're
just,
going to do blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
Give yourself some goals.
even if I just nail a notebook with a hole in it up there so
Yes,
that I
ma'am.
can, you know, keep tearing the sheets out as things are done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the other side of my computer, I have this wall and I write everything, what I'm doing this week. Right. But
Oh,
then I have all these little sticky notes of quotes because I like quotes.
mhm.
Yeah.
Like Albert Einstein, strive not to be successful, but rather to be of value. So
Oh,
you're starting a business. It's you want to be successful. That's true. But you
Sure.
want to be of value to
That's
those
the main
customers.
purpose.
yep.
Yes.
And so if you have these little sticky notes,
Oops.
put them on your computers, put
Yep.
them on your calendars, your refrigerators, your boards. Um, and because like I'm always staring up at that, and then I'm
Mhm.
starting to read all these little quotes.
That's so
And
awesome.
it's encouraging because
Very.
we do want to be of value.
Yes.
And make sure, I think the thing too in here that I'm hearing the most is make sure when you goal set for the year, make sure when you start planning out your goals for 2025, you do it when you're in the right zone. Okay. Don't
Yes.
don't wake up and like
Yes.
one morning you're like, oh, I hate my day. Okay, time to
Yeah.
plan the goals. No,
Right.
Right.
don't do that. Okay. Get yourself a good coffee or a good hot tea, whatever it is. Eat yourself a little breakfast, get a cookie, whatever you need to do. Get yourself in the right mindset. And when you're ready, plan those goals and encourage yourself along the way.
Right.
Whatever that means to you. Maybe it's scripture, maybe it's just quotes, maybe it's just words, maybe it's pretty colors, maybe it's stickers or pictures, whatever it is. Take the time when you're in a good mindset
Right.
Yes.
and plan those goals because it is going to help you all year long.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, this was such a great episode. And I hope it really encourages you that, okay, 2025 is just around the corner. What can I do? You don't have to have 15 goals. Maybe you just have one goal this year. Maybe you have two. Share those goals with the people around you so that they can encourage you with that because that helps me when people can say, make me accountable. Okay, what are you doing on that goal? And I just think it's just a wonderful thing. We hope it encourages you. We hope that you come back on Friday and we're going to talk more about. You can ask us questions, you can give us ideas, share ideas, and we just so appreciate you stopping in to Round the Hay Bale.
Bye, y'all. Happy
Bye,
New
everyone.
Year.